Alright, ladies and gents, could you believe it's episode 66, Samhain celebration, and I am going to play a funny yet kind of romantic song for you from a band called Letting Darkness Grow. The song is called Shoot a Load on Her Face and Call It Corpse Paint. Well, that was weird as shit. I was expecting something a lot more funny. I don't know. But I kind of like it. Is that weird that I like it? I liked it. He had a nice voice. Well, whatever. What do you want me to do, huh? Come on. So here's a little ghost story from a buddy of mine who was in Salt Lake City, Daniel Morales. And he said, I went to one of their concerts. Ghost. I went to one of their concerts and was disappointed. Here's Jeremiah Crow.
Forest and the thickest round, the black goat of the woods with 1,000 young. I can hear primitive man calling some nigger. does not exist. And now I fear the old ones, the Shanigara, the black goat, the black goat. My faith shaken to its very core. The black goat of the woods with 1,000 young. Through trials and tribulations, the Shanigara. Out of my boiling flesh, my soul, it begins to slowly creep. For the others to keep, the Shanigara. The black goat, the black goat, the black goat, the black goat. Jesus cross for the others to keep. My faith is shaken into its core. Everything I have believed seems to exist no more. What is left of me? mythology. Oh, I drop to my knees. The black goat comforts me.
Man, is that man fucking talented. So that was Jeremiah Crow's insufferable one-man show. Please go look him up, check it out. He's got so much good music, so much fantastic music. The intro to the podcast every time with the banjo, that dun 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 dun, that's Jeremiah Crow. I stole that from him from an album, from a song called Welcome. It's like 37 seconds long, and I just thought it was perfect for the show. I let him know that I stole that from him, and he was like, good luck with the podcast. So thank you very much, Jeremiah Crow. But yeah, man, please check him out. Buy his stuff. It's all creepy. It's all spooky. It's all a man playing many instruments. Banjo. God, what the fuck else? Cymbal. I don't know. He plays it all and he sings and he writes all of it. It's pretty incredible. So please check out Jeremiah Crow. Alright, boys and ghouls. I'm going to give you one more ghost story, and I'm just going to play some old school rock and roll that is creepier than fucker. So this story actually comes from my good buddy Mike Cadaver from the Corpse Cast podcast. Alright, so here goes. Okay, so around the fall of '94, me and my best bud Sam were working at a Mexican restaurant. Being the absolute studs we used to be, we were always on the hunt for the ladies. Especially ladies that didn't go to our school. Strange. That is called quote unquote strange. Especially, oh yeah, sorry. Well, it just so happened that we were working with two female employees who worked there that were our age. I've had a few to drink. And we're both babes. We've been talking to these babes all night, and one of them, whose name, well, I guess I shouldn't mention that. So we'll call her Amy, right? Started telling us a story about Flo in the Ogden Cemetery. In the interest of time, I shouldn't read that to you. Well, Amy was telling this whole tale. We were pumped to go experience it. Ghost story, kids, that whole thing. I asked the other girl out, and Sam asked Amy. Clearly, Sam was the better looking one out of the two between Sam and Mike. But that's, you know what? That's life, right? So they planned on going the next night out to check it out. It was sexy. They picked up the girls around 8:30 when it was already dark and drove all the way up to Ogden Cemetery. Ogden Cemetery, the two guys involved in this story, they live in Salt Lake City. Ogden Cemetery, about 45 minutes away. Side story, I made love to a young woman in Ogden Cemetery. She was very goth, and she kind of just grabbed a tombstone, a standing upright one, and presented, and I entered from behind. Yeah, there you go. I guess that wasn't a great story to tell. Anyway, so they picked up the chicks around 8:30, and they drove to Ogden. A few tasks that were supposed to be performed to summon Flo. One of which was to go to the top of the street, which overlooks a long path that had huge trees on both sides, and you gotta flash your lights 3 times. We tried it, but to no avail. Another action was to walk down to Flo's grave, read the inscription on her headstone, and calmly walk back up the street. The spirit is said to then appear behind those who made the trip to her grave. We weren't supposed to turn around because once you turned around, the ghost was said to disappear. But at least the people in the car above would catch a glimpse of Flo. Well, Sam and I were more interested in the company, the ladies, than we were in seeing a specter that evening. It was a fun night, but fruitless night. It happens. After hanging out for a while, we hopped back in the car, drove home, and in the night. Well, the next night, so we were hanging out with the boys, started telling stories to a few of our friends. They seemed interested in checking out this story about Flo in the Ogden Cemetery. So the 4 of them hopped into his buddy Chris's topless Jeep Wrangler in October, which is weird, and made the trip back up. As we drove, I started to feel, as in Mike, he started to feel a bit of uneasiness in him. However, being the cool dude he was, he didn't want to mention and let it on about how he was feeling. They pulled up the street adjacent to the cemetery, and for some reason I, as in Mike, got ice cold. In fact, as we crossed over into the cemetery's property, I felt a shot of anxiety overcome me. My back. Anyway, everyone in the car was quiet, and we were all shooting our gazes all around us. It was a strange, and we were all quiet since we thought we were the funniest motherfuckers in the world, and we'd never pass up on an opportunity to say something silly. Anyway, when they got to the top of the street where we had where they parked the night before, and they were sitting in the back seat behind the passenger side, and Sam was sitting next to him behind the driver's side, right? They're in the back seats. Whatever. His friend who was driving flashed his lights 3 times, as he was supposed to do, and they waited. After a couple of minutes sitting there in silence, they asked if Sam and Mike would go down to the grave, read the inscription on the headstone, and attempt a second type of summoning. Well, unlike the night before, they were chilled and reluctant to descend down into the grave. So they did it. They walked down to the grave, to the headstone. They read the inscription, and I guess they read it. So they walked down to the headstone, and they read it out loud. Daughter, Florence Louise Grange, November 24th, 1903, December 29th, 1918. Gone, but not forgotten. So then they stood up and began the long walk back to the Jeep. After a few steps, they were overcome with this feeling of dread, and they just started walking faster and faster up the hill back to the car. And it was like that thing where they start walking faster and faster and picking up the pace, and then they start running. They were running and then sprinting at the exact same time up the hill to the back of the Jeep. And they got in the Jeep and they threw a blanket over their heads and just kind of sat there. Of course, their friends were laughing at us, giving us the regular amount of shit any teenage boy would, and, making fun of them. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? But neither Sam nor him cared. And they didn't even listen to him. He was like, I noticed that in time that we had been down at the grave, another car had pulled up in the Jeep. The car asked us what happened. And Sam shook it off, telling them that they were just being, pussies. Because a lot of people go down this hill, and people are like, "What's going on? What's happening?" And the friend driving the car is gonna be like, they're just spooking themselves and being gay, that sort of thing. So, anyway, then they waited for a time. Then faintly at first, growing even brighter and more pronounced, they saw this green ball of light this green gaseous ball of light, right? Which seemingly had its beginning. It started at the grave and moved slowly back all the way up the hill to the car where the boys, Sam and Mike, were sitting. As the way the ball got closer and closer until it reached the front of the car. A fucking ball of gaseous light is just crawling up the hill, just floating. And all they have to do is, they're just sitting there experiencing it. All of a sudden, out of the silence, Sam whispered, "What the fuck?" It was headed right towards the back section of the driver's side. The ball of light didn't give a flying fuck about the driver or the passenger. It cared about the two guys that walked down to the tombstone and back up. So, let's see. All of a sudden, out of the silence, they were like, "What the fuck?" It was headed right towards the back section of the driver's side, right where Sam was sitting. All of a sudden, the anxiety broke. Chris yelled, "Let's get the fuck out of here!" Just as he put the keys to the ignition to start the car, the night became bright with blue and red lights because a cop was behind them lighting up the motherfucking cherries. I saw those bright whirring lights and felt a huge sigh of relief. I looked back and the apparition, the big green cloud, had disappeared. So the cop asked what the fuck they were doing. They explained to him. The cop laughed and they made their 45 minute trek back home to West Valley, Salt Lake City. Right? No big deal. As far as Sam and Mike are concerned, the legend of Flo is 100% real. Real. And, Mike, he hosts a podcast. Sam was part of it for some time. But a few weeks ago, he called up Sam. Still in good touch with each other. And he asked him if he remembered the story correctly. If he's not just making up shit in his own mind. Because, in your mind you can make up things. And Sam said that it was exactly how he remembered it. And he thought it was even more intense than what Mike claimed. So, Flo, Ogden Cemetery, top of the hill, flash your lights 3 times, but then you gotta get out of your car and you gotta walk down to her grave, and you gotta turn around. You gotta read the inscription on the grave and then turn around. Walk slowly, and if you don't turn around, the other people with you will see her. If you do, you'll catch a glimpse, but then she'll fuck off. So, ghost stories are fun. But I want everyone to have the greatest, spookiest, sexiest Halloween imaginable. Thank you all for tuning in to Rock Up Podcast. I appreciate it very much. And here's some surprise old school tracks.
Laying here, looking at the ceiling. Someone lays a sheet across my chest. Something warm is flowing down my fingers. Pain is flowing all through my back. I tried to move my arm and there's no feeling. And when I look, I see there's nothing there. The face beside me stopped, it's wholly bleeding. The girl I knew has such a distant stare. Something in the air. I remember we were flying low and hit something in the air. Then I looked straight at the attendant. His face is pale as it can be. He bends and whispers something softly. He says, there's no chance for me. Something in the air. I remember we were flying low and hit something in the air. Life is flowing out my body. Pain is flowing out with my blood. The sheets are red and moist where I'm lying. God in heaven, teach me how to die. Something in the air. I remember we were flying low and hit something in the
My God. What an incredible song. So incredible. So incredible. I love that song. Uh, it just gives you the creeps. And apparently that song is fucking based off of an experience that the lead singer had in a plane wreck where he lived and everybody in his family around him died. Which, it happens. God damn. What a haunting, terrible song. Perfect for the month of October. And it's a Halloween, motherfucker. Alright, man. I hope you enjoyed it. And I'm gonna play. Christ. Let's see. We got 8 minutes left. I had 2 songs to play though. Alright. Here we go. This song kind of changed my life. I'm not even lying, exaggerating, whatever. This song changed me. So, here you go.
Get out!